All right, hi everyone. How are you all doing? Today we have another Code Forces round, and it is an educational Code Forces round today. So yeah, I'll be attempting it, and let's see who all have registered for it. Okay, I'll just try to not lose candidate master in this one. I don't have a very high rating right now to actually reach master from just one contest. So yeah, I'll be trying to not lose candidate master here. And let me see if it is getting recorded. Yeah, fine. Okay, then let's go. Let's close this. Fine. So we have problem A. Monocarp is playing a computer game. Now he wants to complete the first level of the game. Level is a rectangular grid of 2 rows and n columns. Okay. Controls a character which starts in cell at the intersection. Okay. Can move from one cell to another cell if the cell are adjacent by side or by corner. Okay. Um, in one step, we can do this. Okay. If the cells are adjacent by a side, so if they're adjacent by a side, then we're changing the x. If they're adjacent by a corner, oh, okay, okay, I see, I see. So we can also move to a corner, right? There are traps in some cells. If Monocarp's character finds himself in such a cell, he dies and the game ends. To complete the level, should reach 2n at the intersection, if it is possible to reach. Okay, that's a very simple DP, I think. And fine. Mm, right, so we just taken the input here as ARR at j comma I. Fine. Now we just need to define our DP. So if instead we can do this. Mm, okay, but the thing here is that we don't really need this DP. All we need to check is whether both of the rows. Okay, just a minute. So if AR are at 1 comma n minus 1 equals to 1, this case this is not possible. What do we have to print? No. Fine. Now we just have to check with whether every column, if there is any column that has both ones, then it is not possible. Right. So if AR are at 0 comma I equals to a 1 and AR are at 1 comma I equals to a 1, then I do found equals to false. Also here if AR are at 0 comma 0 equals to 1. Right, this should be fine. because for every column at least one of them has to be a 0, right? This is fine. Let's submit this. And let me just check if the first cell can be a 0 or not. I mean, can be a 1 or not. Finds himself in such a cell. Yeah, that is fine. Cool. I mean, you could do this using a DP as well, but there is no need to do it. When students attended the first meeting, N is even, okay. All students will be divided into 2 groups. Each group will be attending exactly 1 lesson each week. Into 2 groups, okay. Each group will be attending exactly 1 lesson each week during one of the 5 working days. And the days chosen for the groups must be different. Okay, furthermore, both groups should not contain the same number of students. Each student has filled a survey in which they told which days of the week are convenient for them to attend this lesson and which are not. Your task is to determine if it is possible to choose 2 different weekdays to schedule the lessons of the group and divide the groups into 2 groups and divide the students into 2 groups. Okay. Have equal sizes. The group should contain, okay, should contain, not shouldn't. So, fine. So we just have to decide 2 days. Both of them have to be different, and we have to see if, I think that is simple brute force, right? Okay, but we also need to decide, like if there is a person who can go in Wednesday and can go in Tuesday as well, we need to decide where to put them. So that can be done, right? Yeah. So these are the 2 days that I'm considering, and I can have a variable bool found equals to false, which tells me whether I found my answer or not. Now there are 3 types of people that are here. The first one is that they're only convenient for day 1. The second type are they're only convenient for day 2, and the third type are they're convenient for day 1 and day 2. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Okay, so if ARR at I, sorry, ARR at K comma I, and ARR at K comma J, then I do D3 plus plus, else if ARR at K comma I, then I do D1 plus plus, else if ARR at K comma J, then I do D2 plus plus. Now, first of all, if D1 plus D2 plus D3 equals to what? Equals to n, that is the first thing. And D1 is less than equal to n by 2, and then D2 is less than equal to n by 2. D3 was not declared in the scope. Oh, okay, this has to be here. So let me just see. First of all, D1 cannot be greater than n by 2, definitely. Then D2 cannot be greater than n by 2 again, right? Now we're trying out every single possibility, and I think this should be fine. Also, do they tell us that all the students have to be in one of the group? All students, okay. This is fine. Cool. So let's move to the C problem. Deleting two elements. Monocarp has got an array A consisting of n integers. Let's denote K as the mathematic mean of these elements, okay? It's possible that K is not an integer. Fine, the mathematic mean of an array of n elements is the sum of elements divided by the number of these elements. Fine, Monocarp wants to delete exactly two elements from A so that the mathematic mean of the remaining n minus 2 elements is still equal to K. Okay. Now the first thing is that if I remove both the elements that are greater than K, then my mean is going to decrease for sure. If I remove both the elements that are less than K, then my mean is going to increase for sure. Right, if I remove both the elements that are K, then I'm done, first of all. Fine. The number of pairs such that if the element of these positions are deleted, the mathematic mean of n minus 2 elements still remains. Okay, fine. So if I'm removing an element I, okay, let me write a certain formula for this maybe. Okay, not this one, not. So if I have my current sum is, let's say, x. Yeah, my current sum is x. If I remove a of I from it, and I also remove a of j. Now I need to select what a of j is, right? So this is what I have, n minus 2 equals to k, right? So what I want is this. So I can basically form an equation for aj here, I guess. Aj equals to k into n minus 2 um, k into n minus 2 minus x plus ai, right? So maybe I can store this in a map somewhere, the number of values that are looking like this. But I also need to take the negative of this value because ai is on this side. So I have ai, sorry, I have x minus ai minus k times n minus 2, right? So this is something that I can store, this is something that I can store. Yeah, I can do this using a map. Now there is one more thing. If I have this, I also need this k value. So k is what? K is equal to x by n, first of all, right? So instead of like storing these values, I can scale them up by n. I think that would be perfect here. Yeah, I think I should scale them up by n to not run into any. Okay, but what if I scale them up? I have 10 to the power 9 into 10 to the power 5. So then it becomes 10 to the power 14. And I do this for 10 to the power 5 integer, so that can run into an issue here, right? So what do I do in order to avoid these floating point numbers? So I have aj times n should be equal to what? Should be equal to x into n Now x is what here? First of all, x is the mean, right? Minus ai times n. Yeah, no, x is the overall sum here. Minus k times n minus 2. Okay, let me write this on Sublime itself. So I have x is the current sum, ai plus aj, divided by n minus 2 equals to k. Then I have k into n minus 2 equals to x plus a I plus aj. Now in order to remove this k, I can do x by n. So I have x into n minus 2 equals to x into what? x into n plus ai into n plus aj into n. Yeah, this is what I have. So in order to remove this n again, I have x into n minus x into 2 equals to x into n plus ai into n plus aj into n. So x into n gets cancelled here. Then I have ai into n plus aj into n equals to n minus 2. Okay. This had to be minus. Oh my god. This has to be minus, yeah. So equals to x into 2. This is what we want, right? So I can scale them up, but for x I can keep it same. Yeah, so I have ai into aj into n equals to x into 2 minus a I into n. Right, this is what I want. So fine, let's code this. Okay, now I have this. I also need to add this value to x. Now I can do this. Right. Val1 equals to x into 2 ll. Val2 equals to error at I. Now if m dot find val1 minus val2 is not equal to and I also do m at val2 plus plus. Hmm. 6023. Okay, this is fine. Let me just see if this equation was right. K into n minus 2 equals to this. Fine. Yeah, this seems fine. Cool. So let's move to the D problem. Monocarp is the coach of the Berlin State University program teams. He decided to compose a problem set for a training session for his teams. has n problems that none. Okay, let me just look at the standings once. Yeah, so Monocarp has n problems that none of his students have seen yet. The ith problem has a topic AI and a difficulty BI. All problems are different. That is, there are no two tasks that have the same topic and difficulty at the same time. Oh, okay, fine. Monocarp decided to select exactly 3 problems for n problems of the problem set. From n, sorry, exactly 3 problems from the n problems for the problem set. The problem should satisfy at least one of the two conditions. The topics of all selected problems are different. Fine. The difficulties of all 3 selected problems are different. Okay, fine. So your task is to determine the number of ways to select 3 problems. Okay. So if I just put them inside vectors, for example, if I have these vectors of topics, the distinct topics, and these are like vector of vectors, and there is a list of difficulties here. There is a list of difficulties here. There is a list of difficulties here. Fine. Now the thing is that if I choose this difficulty here, then I can choose all the numbers from here such that they're not equal to this difficulty. If this is like 2, then I don't want 2's from here or here. I can choose any other number, but I can't choose 2 here. Right. So yeah, I think if I just look at every number and I'll know the sum of these difficulties, okay. So if I'm picking up 2 here, I cannot pick up another 2. That is the main condition here. Hmm. So if I just exclude this row, for example, if I exclude this row, then I will be having the sum of difficulties for every other topic. Like if I consider 3, then I will be having the sum of uh, the number of places where I have 3 here, right? Yeah, number of places where I have 3. And if I consider 5, then I also have number of places where we have 5. Now the thing is that if I pick up this 3, I cannot pick up 5 here. That is another issue here. Okay, what if I look at this problem in terms of inclusion and exclusion? If I consider all the possibilities first of all and remove the ones that I don't want to consider. So what are the elements that I don't want to consider? If I have a group of 3 elements, then I can have the following possibilities. Uh, the topic of the first two is same, or basically the topic of the last two is same, or the topic of the first and third are same, or all of their topics can be same. That is one condition. But this is weird. There are two parameters that I actually need to consider. Okay, now it is also mentioned that for a particular topic there won't be two difficulties same. Maybe we can do something about it. Okay, I think there is an issue in the problem. What I read was that both of these conditions should be satisfied, but the thing is that at least one of these conditions should be satisfied. Okay. So either their topic is same or their difficulty is same. Hmm. So we can reject all those triplets in which either the topic is same or the difficulty is same. I think that would be a better way. Okay, but if I'm saying that the topic should be different or the difficulty should be different, the one way of choosing is very simple. Like if you look at this, then I have, for example, if this is my vector of topics, let's say there are 5 topics here, sorry, 5 difficulties here, 6 difficulties here, 7 here, 8 here. So I just need to multiply any of these. um, Multiply any 3 of these and sum them up. So what I can do is I can maybe maintain a prefix sum of squares, that this is the sum of squares, and for when I get to 8 I can just multiply this with 8, so this will give me the final answer for up till 8 when we include 8. But we also need the sum to multiply with this 8 to actually add it in the sum of squares. So that is one thing, but this is something that we're doing only from the topic side. We also need to do it from the difficulty side. Sum of squares, yeah, I think this can be maintained. There is no issue in this part. This can be done. Okay, but here what the condition is that the topic is different, but the difficulty might be same. So if we do it the other way around as well, we have 2 cases. Let's say we have X, which is denoting that topic is different, but the difficulty is same, and we have Y, where it is suggesting that we have topic is same, topic might be same, and difficulty is different. But there is another case where you have topic is different and difficulty is different, and this is getting counted in this as well. So we need to subtract this once. Okay. So the 2 cases are when we have topic is definitely different, but the difficulty might be same or different. And in this case, we have topic can be same or different, but the difficulty is definitely different. And the third case is where we have the topic is different and the difficulty is different as well. Both of them are different. So the answer would be finally x plus y minus z. But I think I can calculate x and y. How do I calculate z? For z, I want both the topic and the difficulty should be different. Okay, let us look at some of the cases. The very first condition is that all these problems are distinct. Like you cannot have the difficulties same and the topics as well same. So if we have T1, T2, and T3, and we have D1, D2, and D3. So we can never have this condition T1 equals to T2 and D1 equals to T2. This is never possible, right? So now if I'm saying T1 equals to T2, then D1 is not equal to T2, D2. Yeah, this is one condition. Let's just analyze this part. If I'm saying T1 equals to T2, then D1 cannot be equal to T2, right? Now, now if this is the condition, all I need to check is whether D3, if D3 is not equal to any of these two, then this is a valid configuration. Right. Okay, but why not consider it like this? If we have T1 equals to T2 equals to T3, in this case, all the possible cases are valid. So we can consider this one. Then one of the cases T1 equals to T2. In this case, we know for sure that T1 is not equal to T2. Right. Now, if we have selected T1 and we have selected T2, we only need to select a D3, uh, which is not same as this, and T3 is different. T3 is not equal to T2. This is what we are considering here. I don't know, this does not work here. Okay, for this part, okay, right. If T1 is not equal to is equal to T2 and T3 is not equal to T2, uh, then this is what we want. We want three distinct difficulties. Right. So if all these elements are equal, then we don't really care because the difficulties will be different. If any two of them are same, then we want to choose the difficulties as distinct. So already two of them are not equal. We need to choose the third difficulty, which is not equal to D1 or D2. Right. So Okay, what if I represent these points on like a number line? Can I do something with that? Like if I have this number line and I represent this as the topic, this as the difficulty. So these would be like, I mean, this is not a number line, this is like a graph itself. So if I plot these points, they would look something like this. And since they all are distinct, so they won't be overlapping. Now I need to select points such that uh, they form a triangle. What about these points? I cannot select points that are on the same line, horizontal or vertical. No, but the topics or the difficulty have to be different. So if I have this, here the topic is changing. What all points can I not select? First of all, let's analyze that part. What all points can I not select? So if they all are in a single line like this is something that I cannot select, first of all. Then, because their topic is same, but the difficulty is different, right? So I can select these. So what are the points that I cannot select? For example, if this is a point and I have this, then here the topic, here the difficulty is same and here the topic is same, right? So this is like a right angle triangle. So this is something that I cannot select. What else can I not select? For right angle triangle, I can definitely not select them because for any two of these points, either the difficulty is same or the topic is same, right? Which other points can I not select? Here we have T1 or D1, and we have T2, T1, and here we have T1, D2, right? So what if I have T1 equals to T2 equals to T3? Then this is done, right? This is done. Yeah, this case is done. This will work out. What if I have something like this? Here the topic is different. I think all we need to do is just find out the number of right angle triangles in the given points. Yeah, this is exactly what we need to find. So the time complexity is order of n. Okay, now I'm not sure how this works, but I'm just going to copy it. Right, so this is what I have. These are the points, fine. And let's do LL. Number of points that have same x or y. Should I just use a map here? A map should be better. Right. Okay, I don't know. Okay. where are I? I comma. Okay, but I'm not sure if this overall function is fine or not. Okay, I don't really care about it. Honestly, I have no idea how to find number of right angle triangles, so let's just submit this. Okay, fine, great. I don't know, this required a lot of observation. This right angle triangle observation was just insane, honestly. Yeah, fine.